So the month of January will have a great significance for the entire year of 2019. It starts out with an internal, physical, and emotional pain that reminds us of our need to consciously connect and feel more within and also with others. So we'll start with a little bit of a bang here for us, maybe in regards to our physical, in regards to some of these things that we have been trying to avoid to face. Okay, I'm seeing also a lot of mental and emotional illnesses that people have been trying to ignore or numb themselves from coming forward here in January. Okay, they need to be addressed. We need to allow ourselves to feel and connect more on all levels so that we can heal these things. This will cause a new level of collective and societal or social volatility. So right now, there's a lot of fear and uncertainty in the air, individually as collectively. You know, this we will experience this as a continual up and down of sentiment, changing between exhilaration and depression throughout the entire year. So right now, what we are experiencing is this shift of power structures, internal and external. This will be the main overall subject for 2019, and it will begin right in the beginning of January. So 5th, 6th of January is some of these dates that stick out. Okay, that said, there's no need to be alarmed. The incoming global changes will bump us into a new level of collective evolution. And it will bring forward the best in us, but only because we will be forced to do this. So if you want to get a heads up on this, and you as a community, as a self-healing community, are already doing this, you know, then the best way to work with this is to really face, you know, some of our fears, some of, you know, the patterns in the past that have been holding us back, and to really work with our bodies, with our energy, you know, and learn that we are not powerless, you know, that we have a choice as to how things develop for us. And that is, you know, through the things that we allow in, through the things, you know, that we ingest on all levels, and through, you know, the choices that we make into regards to what we are exposing ourselves to, you know, what we surround ourselves with. So I don't really need to be worried about this, but we will be forced to go into a new level of creativity with this. We have to, you know, allow this these challenges that are ahead to work with our inner promptings, with our inner spontaneity that will be there for us if we can trust it. Okay, so it can excel us into a brighter and healthier future. And especially January will have an enormous manifestation power. I can't even say this often enough. So whatever these promptings are, and this inner guidance that you may feel or may not feel or may not trust in it, you know, this will show you the way. Okay. However, caution is advised. Collective bombardment through news and social media can be really unbearable, especially here in January. So, especially when you're an empath, when you're energetically sensitive. So the best thing is to, you know, make choices here in regards to where you expose yourself, what you surround yourself with, and reduce, sort of other people's dramas, be it in your family, in your town, or what's coming in through sort of worldwide news. Stay away from extremist groups and extremely sort of heavily opinionated people. This is not going to do you any good. Okay, our task is to go into more balance and not into more separation. Okay, because separation is the cause for our suffering, and so staying away from news. You know what this does for you is that it reduces that bombardment so that you can feel your own inner guidance better. As many of you know, this transformation process has been going on for years already. So individually, the greatest challenge for us will be to withstand that collective fear of the unknown. Okay, so this whole sort of transformation that we are in, isn't easy for our psyche as humans. And so we really need to pay attention to our ego coping, to our addictions, because they are counterproductive for our task, for our purpose, for our fulfillment, for our high vibratory goals. So on a positive note, January though is really cool in regards to bringing in our heart's desires, our passions. It's going to remind us of what we came here for. And if you need a tip from me, go into this place that you may remember when you were like 5 or 6 or 7 years old. When your system was relatively clean, of all those negative experiences, when you had these ideas what you want to be when you're grown up, the wondrous child in you, tune into this. If you want to really go with, your passion and your true superpowers, go back to that place, before the conformist in you or the pleaser in you or the rebel in you got the best of you. Could reconnect with your sort of raw creative powers in you. And maybe you have to sign up for a painting class or a cooking class or a dancing class to reawaken this. If you cringe a little bit when I say this, then do it regardless. Do it because you're cringing, okay? Because that's showing you something. There's something in you that you're resisting, a part of you. And I can't tell you, of course, as an audience, what it is for you individually. This would be subject to personal energy coaching sessions, but in that resistance, in that cringe lies, your guidance. Okay. Uh, Another thing is, to really sort of feel this out, what your these projects, or these lifestyles, how you can really accomplish them. This, we have another week or two here, the beginning of January, where you can set the tone, where you can set a strategy for yourself up. And saying this for months is really important, because by the sort of second week of January, you're gonna have to make a choice here. You're gonna have to devote yourself for what it is that you want to go for, and you're really going to have to try to be your best. So that is my tip for all of you who have been wobbling, or going back and forth, or half-assing it, or not really doing what it takes. Give it an honest try, guys. And if whatever it is that your guidance tells you, explore. And it doesn't have to work out the way your ego has laid it out for you. But this is a really, really good time to grow with your passion, okay? Even if you make some negative experiences, there are no mistakes, okay? This is following your heart's desire, and many of us have to practice how to do this. We have not been trained in following our heart's desire. We have been trained in following our minds, okay? And as we are working on bringing this together, we need to learn how to do this and how to balance this out. So become an active participant in your life, guys. Any kind of numbing, suppressing, denying, or ignoring will backfire and make us feel powerless even more than we already feel. Pay attention to your coping patterns and consciously focus on expanding your knowing, your learning, your communicating. Communication is another big theme for 2019. How to speak from the heart, how to, go into honest feedback, into honest exchange with others, will affect all our lives. Spiritually, these awakening waves that we had in the past months here, they will be continuing. Unfortunately, they will also bring a lot of spiritual confusion and a new level of hostility between world religions. Here within the sacred self-healing discussion, we talked about this already. There will be a lot of news around that. The world religions clashing in the next year. So many of us will feel spiritually a bit lost, and so There would be, sort of wars around that, insisting on their view as the only view. That's just all normal sort of sociological dynamics that we're going to observe there. But it will cause quite a bit of social unrest already in January. Okay. Don't get into fights over spiritual views, guys. That's my big tip for you. Insisting on the way you see it is the only way has never brought out anything good. Okay. And killing people in the name of God is about the biggest oxymoron that could be out there. So that is not the way to go. But I know that you guys not considering this, but just to bring this to our conscious attention. If we have not yet found a community of like-minded, people that we can exchange with, January is going to be a good time for finding these things, for these groups, or founding maybe a group. There's so many of you brave souls who have started a local self-healing community, meditation discussion groups. This is really, really cool. But it can also be, like maybe local food growing communities, local, I don't know, card playing communities, local, you know, solar farms, whatever. Be creative there. You could form a bridge group, or a baking club, whatever. These things will be very beneficial in January. Earth and climate changes as a result of the overall expansion waves will continue, guys, and will bring earthquakes in January already. There's nothing we can do to prevent those. So listen and trust in your inner guidance to be at the right time, at the right place. You can trust in that inner guidance. Okay? For the conscious spiritual seeker that you are, this month will be a wonderful opportunity to feel deeper into your inner connection, into your inner guidance. The more you can allow yourselves to internalize your own inner connection, your direct connection to divinity and other people, the easier these years of global transformation are going to be for you. For years, I've been telling you guys that, they were predicting that the times will come where all this work that you have invested into your own consciousness, into, working through your ego stuff and whatnot is going to pay out. This time has come now. You're going to see this, and especially those of you who have already had the courage to devote themselves to this, to learn, energy healing, or to integrate energy healing into their existing professions. This doesn't always have to be in the healing business. I've seen so many variations of energy work in areas that I could have never, come up with myself. Active self-healing and the energy work that it's based on is the way to go, guys. So you are the pioneers of that, and just through that you're gonna feel that people will gravitate towards you, and this is happening already. Okay, so trust in that. So the main subjects for 2019 here will be finances, and the technology underneath it will be superpowers on all levels, so church, politics, and also our personal superpowers. Self-healing, becoming an active self-healer will be the biggest trend in the sort of self-improvement sector. Governments, in regards to superpowers, the food industry and pharmaceutical industry will be big headlines. Environmentalism, issues with addiction for next year. Those will be the main themes. Yeah, so allow all this to unravel, guys. There will be uncertainty and fear that you will feel coming in, and this won't all be yours. Okay, don't worry about that. Do it. Do work with this just like how you work with some of the other things that you've already learned to work with. Face it. Go into your center, breathe through it. Ask your system, what is it linked to? Go into connection with your true self, with your inner guidance, and work with it. Don't resist it. That concludes my forecast for January, and a little bit of the 2019 energies. All right. I wish you all a wonderful transition into 2019. Just be prepared that there's going to be chaos, okay? So then your ego won't have that big of an issue with it, because if it's planned chaos, right, then your ego will accept it. That's the trick. Have a prosperous year, and use these manifestation powers that are coming in for you here in January. Okay. Bye bye, everybody. Thank you.